On guys, welcome back to another episode of Hustle with Jesse W, and today I have a day trading recap for you. We traded stock PTX, and it was a solid little trade. Alright guys, so let's jump right on into it. I really dissected this trade really well before I jumped into it, and I played it. I don't think I could have played it any better, but there's always room for improvement, and I did miss out on a good chunk of the trade, and it was based because of volume. But let me show you everything. I'm going to try to make the video as quick as possible because it is a little lengthy. Let me see here. So PTX didn't have any news that I saw. I searched and I didn't find any news, but it did have some decent volume, and it was halted a couple times. Let me see. You see right here it was halted, and then right here it was halted. And, when it resumed, it pulled in real hard. But then it bounced really hard on big volume. So that caught my attention because it was based off of this halt price. And we had VWAP and the 90 MA in that area. So when we had this action, I said, I have to look to get long this stock. But let me, dissect it a little bit more. So I started noticing this area right here in the 170s. And it was holding support right around that area. That's in the daily. It was holding support right around this area, 165 to 170s. And I decided to get long right there. Here are my orders. I got long $1.74, and then I added at $1.82, and then I sold at $1.89 and $1.91. The reason why I sold at $1.91 was because of a lack of volume in that area. The reason I sold out at $1.89 because I wanted to sell in front of high day. High day at the time was $1.95. So we knew there was a lot of shorts in this stock to begin with, plus all the ones that piled on after we had this action right here. When we had this action right here, we know shorts piled on in there. And then they were trapped because the stock wasn't breaking down. It was actually holding up and actually, making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. The volume wasn't anything impressive. It was light volume, but it's fine because it's during the consolidation phase. Now, my issue was once we started creeping up to the high of the area, I took off, the first half that I added. Boom, took that off. Then my idea was to take that next half and take it off over $2, maybe 205, 210 area, okay? But once we creeped up here, the volume at the time wasn't increasing dramatically, and it certainly wasn't a big volume bar. It still wasn't a big volume bar. The best volume bar is this one right here, which is very similar to this high of day one. Once we were in these 190s, see how weak it was? We were here in the 190.94. High day was 195, and look how weak this volume bar was. That's where I took it off. That's where I took off that last piece because of that. And I hate, and I feel crap because, then the volume started to increase and we pushed. I mean, this is a 11 million share float stock. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. Had you taken it off as well? I couldn't consciously hold on to that last piece there, just because normally what we've seen and I'm used to seeing a lot is that when we creep up to that high of day area and we test it, like we tested it on that candle, and that volume bar is not big, we see a big flush down. And I was not wanting to have a big flush down after, I added to the position and I took some profit. Maybe I could have been more aggressive and held on. I don't know. What do you think? I do have this trade for you in recording here. I did record the trade. Let me load that up here for you. Oh no, that's what I'm recording right now. Here we go. It's a long trade. Oh, this is not it. Here we go. It's a long trade. It was 26 minutes long. For me, that's extremely long. As you can see, I'm in 300 shares at the cost basis 176 because they factor in your commissions, obviously. And you can see it's already right in this whole consolidation area. Once I saw this bar and this volume bar, I knew that we had a chance for a good short trap. So I immediately, found my entry and took my starter position. My risk here was 174 entry, 174 and a half entry. and I was risking down to, you know, this 160 area, okay? And that was just my starter position. So, you know, what was I gonna lose? You know, not much, right? 30 bucks maybe, you know, if I managed to trade well. So I was just concentrating on VWAP and the trade line, which is the 9 EMA here, and to see what would happen. So my idea was to get in and add over 180 because 180 was going to be a pivot, but we needed some volume, right? We needed to see some sell orders start to come through. We see that, you know, I'm going to fast forward just because it's 26 minutes. We're not going to hang out here for that long. We see that it starts to stick there at VWAP and the 9 EMA. Look at that. Look at that. It's great. I was always between buying and selling because, you know, you got to be ready to bang out of that if it flushes against you. But the longer the trade, you know, stayed in these levels, the more confident I actually got because I knew shorts were trapped. I knew they were trapped. So we're here. We're still making higher lows. We had 9 EMA crossing over VWAP. I'm waiting for that increase in volume so I can add. I still haven't, you know, taken that add. We're seeing that 180 is a pivot right there. It's very strong resistance. Boom, I add there, and we start to get that pop going, you see? Now my new stop is 170 for now because I'm using the 9 EMA as my stop. That's my line in the sand. Watch, I want to get us to the higher day test area. So I want to take some off in front of higher day. Higher day is 195. I'm looking to sell some at 189, 190 area, right in front of that higher day. So I take off on a limit order. I take off some right there on that little pop. As you can see, let's pause this. As you can see, we're in this higher day area right now, okay? But look at the volume bar. I already took off half. I see 189.17. I took off half. I had 600 shares. I took off 300 right there because that was my plan, regardless of volume or not. I had to be prudent and take off half right there in front of the day because what if it doesn't break out? What if it fails? You know, I can't let this winning trade now become a losing trade just because I got greedy. So we're going to take off half right there. That's rule of thumb, okay? Now, I'm still using this 9 EMA as my stop, okay? So I'm looking to get this 9 EMA up here so that no matter what, I leave this trade profitable, right? What I'm looking for now is big volume on this breakout and break over $2 and then start taking my last half, you know, over $2 for some nice profit. But this volume bar doesn't increase. And the volume bar not increasing at a higher day break is generally a sign that the stock will more than likely fail and come back down, usually kind of hard. So let's watch this. Let's watch this. We got some big seller here at 197, 14K. See, I took it off right there. Why? Because we tested that 194 area, 193 area, and look at the volume bar. It's as small, even smaller than some of this consolidation bars on the volume. And that, I mean, tell me, we're going to let this continue to play out here. Tell me what you think, because in my experience, that's usually not a good sign. Maybe I could have kept that last 300 shares and risked it, but then, I would have lost a lot of the profit that I gained had I stopped out of this. Look, it continuously. See, look at the volume bar. That we closed off. We closed off this right here in front of the higher day. And that volume bar is still nothing impressive. It's a consolidation size volume bar. Like 48 seconds left. I don't remember what happens now, but we're going to watch it here together. Let's fast forward just a tad. Oh, I stopped the video. So, well, regardless, we left the trade profitable, obviously. And here we have the live, chart right now as it's going on. We see that this was that bar that I took profit on because it was so small. And then we see this very next bar increased pretty damn good. And then we see the $2 breakout with a nice increase. And it goes all the way to 220. I wouldn't have held on to 220. I'm going to be honest. I know myself, and I had an order that I had pre-typed to get out my last piece at 205 to 210 area. I was looking for it to break over 205 and see if it pushed up to 210. And, I would limit out and get filled right around that 205 area, worst case scenario. Taking real good profit there at the end. The stock made that 220 high and pulled, all the way back in down here again to the 180s. And now we're above $2 again. I'm done on the day anyways. I'm happy with the way I traded it and with the way I analyzed the trade, looked at the daily, You know, I gave it 26 minutes. I was on this trade for almost half an hour. You know, I watched as the 90 MA held support. I watched my volume. I added when I should have added. And I took off my first half when I definitely should have taken off that first chunk. What do you think? How would you have traded this? What did you trade today? Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, learned something, and I hope maybe somebody can teach me something that I might have missed here. Remember to hit the subscribe button and give it a like. I'm working hard on these videos for you. Talk to you in the next one.